Welcome to Shom Achshav on the Daf Shir sponsor Lui Nishmas Arim Yakoshom Labas Yitzchok. We're holding Metzia and Daf Ayin Hey, the last few words of Perek Ezu Neshech. The Gemara tells us of three Tsoyakim ve'einom nanim. They scream and they're not answered. Rashi explains because they caused it themselves. It's their fault. One of them is Koine Odom Latzvay, someone who gets a master for himself. Says, well, what does that mean? So the Gemara in the third explanation, last words of the Perek, the Gemara says, "The bishle behind moso v'loy ozi lemosa chriso." It's bad for him in one place, and he doesn't move to another place. Meaning a person has a certain terrible situation in one place, he needs to get out of the place. In Sefer Chasidim, in Reish Menvov, he brings, a person sees that he's not able to have children or his children die. So he says either the problem is because the name is using the wrong name, or because the mokim goyim. He needs to go to a different country. And Reuven Margolius brings in Mokar Achesa, this is based on our Gemara. But the Marshal asks, what does this have to do with Koine Adon Latzvay? What did he purchase? He didn't purchase a master to himself. What does it mean? So the Ben Yoda explains, sometimes a person goes and he invests money into a business, into a property. He gets married in a certain location. Now, because of the business and because of his wife and because of the situation, he's not able to get out. He would love to move somewhere else, but he's not able to. He's controlled by his surroundings, by his circumstance. That is what it means, koine odom latzvay. He puts himself in a situation where he can't get out. And according to the Ben Yoda, comes out, the chiddush is that that's tsoyakim ve'einom nanim. It's still his fault, even though he's right now in a very difficult situation. And the big question that it's already brought down in the Rashbo, in the Sharas V'Tshuva, there's a chelik in the Sharas V'Tshuvas of the Rashbo, which is called the Miyuchosin LaRamban. They used to say it belongs to the Ramban, then they found out it's really the Rashbo. And there is Simon Reish Beheh, he brings this Gemara, the person is bad in one place, should go somewhere else. And he asks, there's a pasuk that says, Ki loy le'odom darkoi, loy le'ish hoylech v'chin etzadov. A person goes from place to place, that doesn't change his circumstance. HaKadosh Baruch Hu has a gezeira on Adam. Wherever he goes, it's where it's going to be. The fact that he moves, why should that change his situation? So the Rashba brings two answers. Answer number one, he says that when a person moves from place to place, that is itself, the moving is a kapara. Galus is a kapara. So when a person moves, right now it's a difficult thing to do. He needs to get out of his comfort, go somewhere else. That in itself gives him a kapara. The second answer, the Rashba says, a little missing in the gears that we have, but the way Rabbi Chanan Wasserman quotes the Rashba, is that the Rashba says there's a difference between a mazal of the location and the mazal of the person himself. What the pasuk says that whatever the person has that's going to happen to him is his own personal mazal. And the Rashba and says that personal mazal is only for a person who's not connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But the tzaddikim that connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, they can change everything with tefillos to Hashem. But someone who doesn't do Ratzon Hashem, he's under his mazal and he cannot change it. That's only his own mazal. Sometimes there's a mazal which belongs to the location, and from there he could get out. Rabbi Chanan Wasserman in the Kovitz Ma'amorim sends us to a Vilna Gaon which is printed in the Sefer Even Shleimo, in the Likutim in the end of the Sefer. They bring their Vilna Gaon on a pasuk in Ishayo, where he explains that there is something which is called a Mazal Kloli and a Mazal Prati. Sometimes there's a gzeir that happens on a city. This city will have a hunger. This city will have some plague. But it's not in each individual. And if someone gets out of there, he's able to save himself. And sometimes the gzeir on a certain individual. We mentioned this in the past in Bava regarding the Gemara that says, the idea is sometimes there's a gzeira klolis on a certain location, and whoever's in that location gets hurt. Says Rabbi Chanan that the Rashba means the same thing, the same idea. And that's what the Rashba says. A person sometimes cannot be successful, has a problem in his life, not because of his own gzeira. From his own perspective, everything is okay. But because he's in a location that he's part of a mokim with things that are bad are happening, so that's why he himself is not successful. And therefore needs to move to somewhere else. And this fits very nicely, because Reuven Margolius, on the Sefer Chasim that we mentioned, he brings a few places in Sefer HaZoyar that says this idea. And one of the places is Zohar Pasha's Boyd of Lamed Chesamud Beis. And there it says that a person should always live with tzaddikim. But if he lives with chayavim and rishayim, who will be nitfas for their punishment. Chazal go on to say that Rav Chizda used to live beinei kaputkoi, and havatchikale shaite umarim radifim basroi. He had a bad time, he wasn't successful, bad things are happening to him. So he moved to Tzipoiri to live among Mari Trisim Chachamim, and then he was also successful also in business and also in Torah. And he says the reason I'm so successful is because I'm living among people that Kosh Baruch Hu wants to give him Torah. Reuven Mergolier says that we really have a Gemara in Shabbos Daf Kuf Memud Beis where Rav Chizda says, I never ate vegetable, not when I was poor and not when I was rich, referring to these two locations brought down in Sefer HaZohar. But what the Zohar is telling us over here is Mamash's Nekudo of the Rashbo, the Vilna Gaon, and the way L'chor Mason explains it. Because here Pshat is, Rav Chizda himself did not have Gzeir to be rich or poor necessarily. But he was Nigzer based on the location. When he was among people that were not tzaddikim, so then he was not successful as well. Because he had a Gzeir on him as well. But when he was among the Tamil Chachamim, among the tzaddikim, so then he got success. And Mimele, with this we understand better the Ben Yoyada. Someone who went and put himself in a place where he can't get out, but it's a place of Rishoyim, a place where there's a bad Gzeir happening, so he's koyin adon le'atzmoi. He is to blame that he put himself in a situation where he can't get out. Why did he live in a location where bad things are happening? This is some of the nekudas that come out of this Gemara, the idea of leaving a location where things don't work out. Anyone who wants to join the Shomachshava email list to Hotsko, please email shomachshava@gmail.com.